and she still believed that she was suffering from the trauma of the racism she says she experienced as a high school senior in Stamford, Connecticut. So much so that she wrote a letter to the local newspaper and talked about it. Hey, can you get is that Wayback Machine still work? Can you find that? Can you find that letter that she wrote? Huh? The print was too dark. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. We all know exactly why we're here. Because Candace Owens has officially filed her application to rejoin the community.
I will never accept racial supremacy. I will never accept ethnic supremacy, even if it's Black people, even if it's my own people, okay? I just won't accept it. That's just the reality. And now we're arriving at that exact same thing happening. It's not happening under Biden. It's not happening under Obama. It's happening under Trump, okay? And it is under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism on college campuses. And that this is an epidemic. And you've got the Human Health Secretary, RFK Jr., saying, oh, we have to declare this an epidemic. And what we're really talking about is people voicing opinions against Israel's policies on blowing up Palestinian kids. You can accept that or you cannot accept that. It is just the reality.
Now, your side on what's happening to the Palestinians aside, because I happen to support you in that regard. Here, you're talking about the anti-Semitism on campus, right? As in the hearings that were had last year before the election, as in when they brought Harvard's president up and then brought her up on trumped up plagiarism charges to run her out over DEI under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism. Isn't that what Elise Stefanik said? Where was this energy? Where was this energy? When we were making the point last year about how there had been rampant anti-Blackness that had been unleashed on social media, we were free to call literally any Black person a DEI. I mean, really, you've done it, but you want to talk about you don't accept any racial supremacy. I'm just wondering where, you know what I mean, where this energy is at. Now, magically, we are aware of supremacist feelings within the administration. Well, you know, it's a shame that they didn't lay out exactly what they had intended and exactly what they had planned to do. Oh, wait, that whole Project 2025 thing, they literally published it. They literally published their plan for supremacy, and now it's a problem. Is that what you're telling me? Because I would have thought that you might have felt some type of way when they got up at MSG, since we're talking about anti-Semitism, right? I would have thought you would have had a problem when they got up at MSG and talked about crushing jihad, but no, you wanted to spend that time on Kamala Harris's family. That's what you was doing.
So I want to show you this Senate hearing. So they had another Senate hearing, like the one that I showed up on, except this one, it was on anti-Semitism on college campuses. And I want you to listen to what this rabbi got up and said as he called for hate speech laws.
Oh, we all remember you appearing at the hearing. We definitely remember that. And I can imagine that railing in support of free speech would be a cause that a person who's banned from whole countries would adopt. That part definitely tracks. And, you know, I would love to support you in that regard. I really would. But we have seen the level of censorship that's been widespread on social media, especially on X, especially, or as Mama called it Twitter, I'm gonna name it Twitter, especially on Twitter. Okay, we've seen that level of censorship and direct involvement in curating the algorithm and what people see amplifying certain messages. We've been seeing that for quite some time. And I don't believe I have heard you say much at all about that. I would love to know how you feel about the fact that when I went to go look at the protests for the hands-off movement, I was sent some links from our researcher, Regina. I had to log in order to view those on TikTok because it was said that it wasn't comfortable for all viewers. And literally it was just a protest. Like that kind of stuff, like left-leaning hashtags not showing up in the chat. I would love if you had any level of integrity about this fight for free speech other than it just being they're trying to silence me. This feels very, very self-serving, Candace.
People on the right worship technocrats like people on the left worship Hollywood. That's the reality, okay? And then I see our side engaging in the exact same kind of behavior when it comes to like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman. You know, they go to the White House. It's like, never mind, they're on our team. Like they were on our team for 5 seconds. Silicon Valley is the conservative Hollywood, in my viewpoint.
Okay, so Silicon Valley is the conservative Hollywood. Now, if that's how you felt, I would have thought at the point in which J.D. Vance was tapped to be the vice president, when we know that he is Peter Thiel, all made up in a mask, when we are aware of how much Silicon Valley has pushed J.D. Vance upon us, you would have sounded the alarm. And you certainly would have had a very deep issue with the characterization of Kamala Harris as being a Silicon Valley elite, a Silicon Valley Democrat, which somehow J.D. Vance had in his mouth. And as we know, every accusation is an admission. I would have thought that would have been a time for you to voice all of this. And also, it's also kind of curious because you're talking about technocrats and you're talking about people worshiping the elites and whatnot. How you happen to miss Elon Musk and the puppet strings extending from his hands down to Donald Trump all throughout last fall and winter? I don't know how she happened to miss. That's crazy. You know what I mean? You know what? I don't know. Did she lose her health insurance when she left Daily Wire? Maybe that's what it is. Because you leave a job and in that Cobra, that Cobra can cover you for a certain amount of time, but the vision coverage ain't right. You know what I mean? Something wrong with the vision coverage.
The speed at which Trump instantly forgave and welcomed all of the people and just seemingly forgot everything that these tech people put the MAGA movement through. And it's been very embarrassing for me as a conservative to watch people who are completely unable to call out their behavior that does not align with conservative principles, or at least to attempt to more truly assess what their aims are.
You know what don't align with conservative principles? Donald Trump. Yeah, he certainly does not. Hey, why don't we raise that debt some more? Yeah, that really don't align with conservative principles. So unless we're gonna go there, I ain't trying to hear nothing you talk about. Now you playing with it now. Don't be out here playing pocket pool with your political commentary.
What conservative value does Elon Musk hold dear that made him worthy of his proximity to Trump's administration?
Oh, well, that's easy. Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, Ulysses Grant, and Benjamin Franklin. Those are the conservative values that he holds dear, that conservatives cannot resist.
And please don't say you went all in on Doge. Like he was the only person cut for the job of cutting government spending. Get yourself a forensic accountant. There are entire firms that specialize in this. You don't need a celebrity. You don't need someone who likes rockets and space to do that. So it can't be that. You can't be, I hope we're not that fickle.
Well, that much has been clear to anybody with an operable brain, that you wouldn't send hackers in to cut funding in order to give you like a real accounting of of our federal government, people who specialize in computing and programming. That doesn't really. That would be like sending you to respond on behalf of the Black community. That's exactly what that would be. You would. We've been making that point for quite some time.
Is it a stance on family? Is there anyone who's had more baby mama drama? He's being taken advantage of. Poor trillionaire with 19 baby mamas. He had no idea. He had no idea who Ashley St. Clair was. Oh, yeah, sure, he runs 3 businesses. He could have gone over everything she's ever put on the internet. But no, he's a victim.
Now, Candace, I know how much you like to wear your faith and your Christian principles. So I don't disagree with you when it comes to your characterization of Elon Musk and his baby mama drama. It is quite ghetto. It is quite hood. Quite frankly, if Elon Musk was an episode of Maury, I couldn't watch it. I'd be like, this is too much. You know what I mean? They have gone too far. They not gonna make us look this bad. You know what I mean? African Americans been fighting too hard, for this to be broadcast to the world. I don't disagree with you in that regard, but what's the line where it becomes something that is a beacon of Christian principles and family values and Elon Musk? Is it for baby mamas? Is that what it is? Because Trump is furious right now. You know what I mean? He is furious right now. He can't get booked on the show. You know what I mean? He like, is it the 4 baby mama, Matt? Is that what it is?
And he's sniping at her on X, and it's embarrassing. He cut back her I guess the money he was giving her was $100,000 a month, and he cut it back by 60%. So now she's getting $40,000 a month. When he wrote under, I think it was Laura Loomer's tweet, he's like, I don't know if this is my baby, but I've thus far given her $2.5 million. It was petty Betty.
Did you say petty Betty? Hey, can I send that as reason for application rejection? Petty Betty? Now, because she don't even know God is good all the time. All the time God is good, but she going with petty Betty. I mean, that's my grounds for rejection.
God is good.
All the time, and all the time God is good? It's from a movie.
And this showed to me that he is an emotional man and he will make his children suffer to get back at their baby mamas if he wants to, right? There's just no reason that she's having a Tesla tote. It's just weird. He's not a victim here. As I said, this is like his 15th child. So it couldn't have been his stance on family that drove you towards Elon Musk. Was it a stance on faith? Are you a Christian? Or were you one of these Christians that got behind him? Because I'm pretty sure that he's a part of the transhumanist movement. And some people just don't have the courage. I guess everybody's just a bandwagon fan, blocking accounts and taking away check marks because somebody disagreed with him over H-1B visas. And I struggle to believe that he is heading up 3 companies if this is how he acts. And every time he does something that's completely ridiculous and indicative of the fact that he's snippy, people excuse it. Oh, well, he's autistic. That's why he's taking away and publicly embarrassing one of his baby mamas. Yeah, she's the problem.
Now, as I mentioned, I've been challenged to find where I agree with people by my mama. So I will say to you, I would agree with your confusion with how he runs 3 companies with the way he behaves. Then it becomes apparent the trajectory of said companies, be it X or Tesla. So, and I know there are others that are doing better when it comes to SpaceX and things of that nature, by virtue of our money that we're it's that government check. Yeah, so I know when it's a government check involved, he good. But when he's off to his own devices, that behavior becomes quite a bit of a liability. Yeah, that is exactly. I don't altogether disagree with you there. But you talk about him being in the transhumanist movement. Is that a new stance? Is that a new stance, or was he a part of that last year when he was funding and doing his damnedest to get Trump elected? And it wasn't a problem then, but now it's a problem. As far as how he he polices X. I have no idea how anybody is still on that platform. I really, when you know how manipulated the algorithm is, and you have to stand in line and stroke one dude's ego in order to continue to thrive. How much fun can that be? You know? That must have been what it was like to play for the Bulls in the 90s. Ain't that right, Scottie Pippen? Now, unless we understand the past, we are doomed to repeat it. And Candace Owens, this is not your first attempt at trying to rejoin the community. Why don't we look at how your last one was processed? Let's go back a year ago. And this from Monique Judge, shout out to her over at the Griot. I've always viewed Candace Owens as somebody who's very dangerous for black people, much like Jason Whitlock. She is willingly putting a black face in front of all the anti-black rhetoric. Some white people wish they could spew without catching flack for it. Candace Owens is anti-black, and what makes it so egregious is she wasn't always like this. She, like Whitlock, seemingly realized there was money to be made in being the black spokesperson for white people's anti-blackness, so she jumped on the train and started parroting the white supremacist rhetoric of those signing her checks. There was a time when Candace Owens was actually very critical of Republicans, conservatives, and especially Donald Trump. Up until 2016, she ran a website called Degree 180, which bashed Trump during his 2016 run for president, and even had an article questioning and mocking his penis size. Does that Wayback Machine still work? All right, find it. Huh? What'd you say? The print is too small. While she has up until recently been making her living denying the existence of institutionalized systemic and individual racism in America, Degree 180 wrote about these topics quite frequently, calling out people like Ted Cruz for being transphobic. The flip-flop for Candace seemed to come along sometime in 2017. She was hired by Turning Point USA in November of that year to be their director of urban engagement, which is code for, we need somebody dark to talk to these darkies. I mean, if you would have literally went and found anybody else, it would have been more effective. Unless you were trying to reach Stephen A. Smith. If Stephen A. Smith was your target audience, then that was a great selection. Stop selling us our own oppression, Owen said. Stop taking away our self-confidence by telling us that we can't because of racism, because of slavery. I've never been a slave in this country. I could tell you that her statement revealed an incredible amount of ignorance on the part of Candace Owens, but instead I'll remind you that she made these statements 11 years after winning a lawsuit against her former school board, and said lawsuit was rooted in an accusation of racism she made against several of her high school classmates. I'll tell you that even in early 2016, Candace still believed in racism, and she still believed that she was suffering from the trauma of the racism she says she experienced as a high school senior in Stamford, Connecticut. So much so that she wrote a letter to the local newspaper and talked about it. Hey, can you does that Wayback Machine still work? Can you find that letter that she wrote? Huh? The print was too dark. In the letter, she details what she went through after receiving alarming phone calls from her classmates, calls in which not only was she threatened with physical harm, but she was called racial slurs and had racist things said to her. Owen said she stayed out of school for 6 weeks because she did not feel safe. She waited until formal charges were pressed against those who had participated in the phone calls. I watched her interview on The Breakfast Club, and I really wish she had chosen to go on the platform that would challenge her and the things that she said. It's not that she said anything different than she's already been saying, but this time she framed it in such a way to make it seem as though she's really on our side and really wants what's best for black people. As I watched it, I couldn't figure out what her angle was and why she was trying to win over black people, but that became clear the next day when news broke that she had been fired from her role at the Daily Wire. Candace Owens knows her time of grifting with white people on white platforms is likely over. They will let you get on their platform and talk a lot of nonsense, but don't you dare say anything about any group of white people, and she made that fateful mistake. Still, Don't fall for her latest jigaboo switcheroo. Now, Monique Judge, you mentioned her in conjunction with Jason Whitlock, and rightfully so. And so, Candace, I thought you might want to see some of Jason Whitlock's mentions because they might help inform how we got to this place.
Everybody knows, and everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be fucking gone. And everybody knows that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He didn't say nothing wrong. He told you exactly what it was. Yeah. I would take that with you. I would keep that in your wallet at all times. Now, you ready to hear from the people? Okay. Okay, what we're not going to do is help rehabilitate Candace Owens. This woman has fought tooth and nail against black people and tapped into conservative hatred of black people. Not here for this revisionist history. No, ma'am. Candace Owens, you are not one of us. Candace Owens sued someone for racial discrimination and then made a career telling people discrimination is not real. She's a grifter no matter what side she's on. Don't fall for this nonsense. Ain't her husband a literal Proud Boy? I don't know that to be true. But if he was, he's certainly not now. You couldn't possibly be that proud.
Black folks, we need to talk. If you are not black, keep it pushing. You can stay, but be quiet. Understand this. There's not a lot of things I call on the black community for, right? Don't y'all let Candace Owens rebrand herself. I don't give a shit. I don't care. She does not fall into the category of the rest of the black women. Don't let Candace Owens do this again, because when Candace wants to pander to that group of people again, she will damn sure throw the black community under the bus like she always has. And stop letting Candace throw a few black facts in front of your face and so you can simply say, oh, wow, she's spitting facts. She's not spitting facts. Because anytime she needs a leg up or a boost, she only runs to one community. She does not run to the community that she panders to. When they fired her off them networks, when she was struggling in her career, when she was facing racial discrimination, she went to one group of people. And simply because we seen a black woman, folks supported her. I never supported her, but folks supported her. And now she's trying to say she does no longer support Trump. Okay, cool. And she said, oh, how she didn't see it and how X, Y, and Z. No. Let her sit with her tribe. Let her, she's good in MAGA. Leave her there. Please, leave her there.
No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We not finna do this. Not in 2025. So you think you finna try to rebrand yourself? You think we just gonna forget all the things that you said over the past 8 to 10 years? Not even past 4 years. This whole time, your whole thing since 2016. That's almost a decade. You think we finna get a decade? Almost a decade of slander? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then you're trying to blame it on Christianity. You're saying Christianity is the reason why you can no longer support this man. If Christianity now is the reason why you can no longer support this man, why wasn't Christianity a reason you couldn't support this man almost 10 years ago? Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed about his character. And if you're talking about Christianity, you're talking about this man's character. Nothing that this man does is Christian-like. Period. In his whole life, can't nobody point to anything this man has done Christian-like. So don't blame it on Christianity as the reason that now you can't support this man. Because if it was truly about Christianity as the reason you can't support this man, you would have never supported this man. Because again, there's nothing this man represents, does, or supports that has any type of Christian values whatsoever. And I stand on that. You can go somewhere else with that, man. I don't even like talking about you. I blocked you everywhere. Because I don't even like, I keep the negative energy out my space. But nah, we ain't finna let you come on here and gaslight us and let you come over here and try to pull the wool and make a whole nah, man. Nah. Like 9/11, we never forgetting.
Well, shout out to Brianna Taylor for that, who's running for Congress, by the way. I'm personally hoping he gets elected so that he can pass some legislation on capping the amount of applications you can submit to rejoin the community. Because this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? We got to get on it, Bernard. We got to get, we can't do this every year. We can't. But for you, Candace, I can say the people have spoken. Yeah, the people have spoken. If I was you, maybe it's like another far off country and land where you are not banned from, and see if you can rejoin that community. You know what I mean? They might have, you know what? Maybe you can take them Christian values and principles. You know, that 3 baby mama max. Thank you for supporting the channel. It is a new season, and with the new season comes new things, and I'm very excited to announce I'll be bringing guests on to my 8 p.m. live starting this very week.
No, never thought leopards would eat my face. Slow it down now.
You guys have sent me in a lot of suggestions for people you would love for me to have a conversation with, people in this particular space, people in the politics space, comedians, commentators, anybody who you would love to see exchange ideas right here on this platform. Go ahead and send in your suggestions. That also applies to my Way of Waters channel as well. I'll be bringing guests over there. So if there's people in the mindfulness space or in the consciousness space you would love to see me talk to, go ahead and send in your suggestions. And don't worry, we'll still have our private chats. Of course, I'm going to open up my lives with a rant like I always do. I'm definitely not a political channel, but I think I'm adjacent. You know what I mean? I think I'm adjacent. I would say, I'm around the corner. I'm not too far. I'm around the corner. Unless, I don't know if they got some redlining going. Maybe they got some redlining going on in politics streets, and now I'm on the other side. And we'll also have the members' lives as well, just when we need to talk offline. So those will be regular. And if you would like to join the channel, there's a link to membership in the description box of all the videos. I want to give a shout out to Obajuru, who's a supporter of the channel, who sent me this as a gift, and I absolutely love it. We're definitely going to find a use for that. And Kit and the Misfit Toys, who sent me this for my Way of Waters channel. You guys are truly, truly the best. And I just hope that I can rise to a level that is deserving of this level of support. Thank you.